Our guest is a Winnipeg-based empowerment speaker, thought leadership expert, and contributing co-author in the anthology Voices of the 21st Century, Unstoppable Women Standing Strong.
On June 5th, she is bringing that work home in a very tangible way. We want to tell you about the inaugural Savvy Women's Empowerment Summit taking place at the Manitoba Club. We welcome to the start Samantha Savvy. Hi, Samantha.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
It's great to see you, and it's great to have you in our studio this morning. Can we start with what I'm assuming is your mantra, a savvy shift, a path back to who you were before, and I love this next part, before the world told you who to be?
Yes. Well, that is kind of the foundation of my brand, and it is really based on my own personal lived experience. And so my brand is Savvy, and that comes from my transformation of going from Samantha into Savvy as I became a international DJ. And so now my goal with this empowerment summit is to empower other women to rise up and to really discover who they are and let that come out. In this particular instance, it's through business, because I also have a background in business, in corporate real estate, commercial real estate. And so I also have that experience, and I want to empower other women to really pursue their passions and their dreams while also successfully building their own businesses and the freedom that comes from that.
Okay, so we'll learn more about the summit in a moment, but we need to share some of the details of your DJ story, because we've just gotten kind of a glimpse of it, but it sounds like you've had a remarkably successful and, I would imagine, super fun career in that field. So how did you get started in being a DJ?
Well, I started off as a dancer, actually, in the Latin dance scene, the salsa scene here in Winnipeg. So I actually am a professionally trained salsa and bachata dancer. And then through my experiences in salsa bachata, I discovered this new dance called kizomba. And the music actually really spoke to me more before I started, becoming into the dance, because I was training and competing so intensely in the salsa side of things. So I was kind of like cheating on salsa with kizomba and the music. And so then when COVID hit and everything kind of got shut down, so there was no performing, no competing anymore. And so that was when I decided, okay, I'm going to switch over to this dance called kizomba and start training. And so I found some practice partners, and I was able to train in that. And then as I realized that we really don't have a lot of DJs in this genre of music, there's maybe 3 DJs in all of Western Canada, and we didn't have one. I was living in Calgary at the time, and so we didn't have a DJ there. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this. And so I bought my first little baby controller, and I just let it sit on my desk for like 6 months or something like that. And every once in a while I would go up to it and I would like try turning the knobs and, experimenting a little bit. And I took a course, an online course or whatever, to learn about the software, because it's not just about the hardware, it's the software too. And then it went from there, and people kind of discovered that I was DJing. And so I started getting hired by first like local events happening in Calgary, and then smaller events happening in Canada as things started opening up again. And then I eventually started posting my sets online. And there was an organizer that I had connected with in Paris, who I had connected with on Facebook. And when he saw me starting to post my sets online, and he reached out and he said, I didn't know you were DJing. And I said, yeah, I'm just starting to see where it goes or whatever. And he's like, well, I have this festival coming up in the summer. And he's like, if you want, you can come and play a couple of sets if you're here. And I was like, okay.
I'll make sure I'm in the neighborhood.
I might be around.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, I might be in Paris at that time. I don't know. So, anyways, I ended up playing my first festival in Paris in the summer of 2023. And then I just kind of started making connections from there. And so it's kind of expanded. So, yeah.
So I'm more interested in the 6 months that equipment sat on your desk because you're an accomplished real estate professional. You have your MBA. I've only known you for about 20 minutes, but I can tell you're very driven. What is it that kept you from something that has obviously become your passion in life? What voices in your head were saying, no, you're not allowed to go down that road? Or was it something else?
I think, and this is again part of my journey in that I want to help people and, women in particular, because I think women often kind of downplay what they're capable of. And so for me, it was like the voice in my head is like, what are you doing? Like, why are you trying to be a DJ?
But was that your voice, or was that your mom's voice, or the collective them?
No, I think it was just like the insecurities and doubt within myself potentially. And so for me, it was like part of becoming savvy was getting over those fears, getting over those hurdles. And it was also like, interestingly enough, it was, even though I was practicing to an empty room, right? Like it was embarrassment of myself, or like I don't want to fail myself, right? And so it's also learning about how to overcome the fears of failure for yourself, not necessarily the external world, but it's like your internal world, right?
So the event is happening Friday, June 5th at the Manitoba Club, 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a half-day conference for women entrepreneurs, professionals, and leaders in Winnipeg and Manitoba. So what's going to be going on June 5th?
Yes. So June 5th, I'm really, really excited about this. So I was inspired actually because I went to an event in Vancouver. And when I went there and everyone was like, you came from Winnipeg for this? And I thought, like, oh, why don't I bring this back home? So I was really inspired by the event that happened in Vancouver. And so it's 3 fireside chat style panels. And so I also have a podcast online actually. And so it's kind of going to be like a podcast interview with experts. And so the 3 topics to discuss are kind of what I thought, what are women probably struggling with right now? So number 1, obviously, the big topic is AI in the workplace. And so I wanted to talk about this because I'm learning about AI. I actually signed up for a mastery course to learn about all the different things. And I think, it's moving so fast and it's really hard to keep up with it all the time. And so I wanted to go over like, how can women capitalize on this in their business so that they can create more efficiencies, more profits within the business. And also not be afraid to use it, because I think there's a lot of hesitancy about incorporating into the business in ethical ways, in authentic ways, right? Because one of the things about AI is that you want to make sure that you're still remaining authentic and true to you.
Well, it's either an opportunity or a threat.
Exactly.
It's one or the other.
Yeah.
To a great extent.
And I think the thing with AI is that like you can't stop it at this point, so you have to learn how to harness it and learn how to use it, right? So that's what I wanted to talk about for the first panel. The second panel is funding and financing for women entrepreneurs, because I'm not sure of the actual statistics, but I know that the number, but I know that women are getting less financing, less grants, less government help than men. And so it's about like seeking out those opportunities. Like, where do you even go to get the proper financing, get the equity, get the investment, get the angel investors on board. So I'm really excited about this panel. Actually, I have WeMB, so the president of WeMB is coming to discuss. So they are specifically helping women entrepreneurs in Manitoba. And then I also have TD, her name is Ala. She's the regional manager for the prairies for the TD Women in Entrepreneurship. And so they focus specifically on female entrepreneurs. And then I also have Joelle Foster coming in, who runs like angel investors and for I don't think it's female specific, but she's obviously in that space.
Yeah,
right?
North Forge. I
Yeah.
was at the ramp up weekend. I was lucky enough to MC the ramp up weekend for Joelle on the weekend. So basically, it's find your kizomba. Find your own kizomba.
Yeah. Yeah.
How can people get involved? Because times are against
Oh,
us.
sorry. Yeah. So how can people get involved? Well, you can go to my website to check out my other work. The event information is on Eventbrite, the Savvy Women's Empowerment Summit. And also, if you are interested in sponsorship, I am still looking for more sponsors. So reach out to me. My email is samantha@samanthasavvy.com.
Samantha Savvy, what a treat it's been to meet you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
Once again, the event is happening Friday, June 5th, 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Manitoba Club.